All right, folks, this is Tom Bowlus from Bass Gear Magazine, again at Winter NAMM in Anaheim, and we're in the Trace Elliot booth. Very happy to be here, always some good stuff. And we have Paul Stevens with us. He's going to be telling us about all the new products. And Dave Ellefson decided to help us out with a little bit of playing as well. So my thanks to you guys. Paul, tell us about the new heads that Trace has out and what we can expect from them.
Okay, well, as you can see, the 3 new heads here are similar looking to the heads we've had for the last couple of years, but we've upgraded all of the power sections in them. So they're all now, in the case of these two, 600 watts, so it's 100 watts more than they used to be. And we've used the same power stage in the new AH1200, so consequently it's 1200 watts. So they're all that much more powerful. And it's not just a case of just the number being higher, they actually just feel more powerful as well, more solid, particularly into these kind of cabinets where they're, they really are tuned and built like PA cabinets, so that the low end you never lose. They really are tuned well.
I noticed from a previous discussion I had with you that it seems like you're driving the tubes maybe a little bit higher plate voltage, and I think you mentioned you're actually using like both valve stages as opposed to in the past of only having used one.
Okay, yeah, you must be obviously referring to in the 12 band, yeah, because on here we have 2 tube stages. One is in the valve section, obviously we call it valve in the UK, and this switches in a 12AX7, and yes, you're right, they actually are run at fairly high plate voltages. A lot of manufacturers who use tubes in instrument amplifiers may only run them at 100 volts or 150 volts or so, but we actually do run that at much higher, like 250 volts. So you get the full kind of headroom out of the valve, and it just sounds better. So there's one tube in there which is switchable, which we will get Dave to demonstrate in a moment, and then between the output level and the power stage there's another tube in there which is always connected, and that is adding a certain amount of dynamic warmth to the sound at all times. In fact, it was surprising the difference that made, because I've done A/B tests with it bypassed and really missed it if it wasn't there. It's amazing the difference just one valve section can make. So whereas the one in the output stage is there just to add a bit of warmth as you go higher in volume, the one in the valve section is actually there to add real dirt, which this guy's going to show us.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, let's hear some of this great clean tone here. Just let it rip a little bit. That sounds great. Get a little bit more dirt in there maybe, and let's hear the other valves.
Yeah.
Man, you can get anything you want. Thank you. Awesome. Yes. Fingerstyle optional. Thank you, Dave. Tell us a little bit about the cabinets. What's using ceramic, Neil? What's going on here?
Yeah, they're all ceramic speakers at the moment. They're all Celestion speakers. They've been specially designed for us. We've always had a long connection with Celestion. There's just something about the way they wind their coils and everything that's always worked well with us. It's a very lively sound, but still bright and punchy. So they're all Celestion throughout. We've got this one here, the 1048 is probably the most famous of all our cabinets. It's been the standard one in the range for years. It's gone for a few different permutations. This particular one we've gone back to having the central porting, but it is, as I mentioned earlier, all tuned like a PA cabinet. That is actually tuned to 40 hertz. Then we have 1518 below, that's tuned to 38 hertz, so a little bit lower. Then we wanted to go really deep, and we have an 18-inch speaker here now, and that is tuned down to 28 hertz. That is basically the low B, or actually it's the lowest note on a grand piano. So that's that's low enough. and actually a surprising difference when you compare the two. The cabinet above is a 2x10, so as you can see we've got two different stack kind of flavours here. This is the kind of traditional Trace Elliot version that became an industry standard. Then this is a bit more emphasis on the low end, still the same height, so it all, you know, it looks nice, looks uniform, but this will give you a lot more real low end, whereas this is much more punchy mid-range. So it's two different versions really.
Well, that's awesome. And when you have the guy who helped bring the Trace Elliot V8 to life, one of my favorite heads, it's awesome to see you still at it and still cranking out great gear from Trace Elliot.
Oh, I live and die Trace Elliot. You cut me open, I bleed green.
Well, that's awesome. This is Tom Bowlus from Bass Gear Magazine signing off again, and keep it real.